Hello and welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina, where they call the downtown Uptown, and the Uptown, at least to me, is North Davidson and Midtown Plaza. I think that's what you call it. I'm in town today doing a gig, an MCing gig for an event at a convention center here in Uptown, Charlotte. So today we are going to talk a little bit about anxiety, nerves, and getting in your own way. So right now I'm gonna try to get into the convention center from the NASCAR Hall of Fame route right here, which never been to a NASCAR event, but they are crazy about it down here. And one thing I'll say about Charlotte is it reminds me of New Orleans. The hospitality is real, the people are nice. Apparently 85 people move here a day. 85 people move here a day, so it's popping. It's getting there, but I'm gonna try to get in, and I'll let you know what it's like inside. Totally tried to get in the wrong entrance, and had to take some time to go around. The convention center is connected to the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Can't go through the NASCAR Hall of Fame, even though it's connected to the convention center. That being said, we're making our way in. The one thing I will say is, going into this event, I had a lot of preconceived notions about what it was going to be, what was going to be required of me, and how I was going to feel. That being said, they were preconceived notions. We'll get into that a little bit later. All right, I'm going in. That is a wrap on the event. I was not able to record it because they didn't want us to, so I stayed away from that. So, about tonight, this is the second show I've done for this client, and it's the first time that I've done MCing in this form, where I'm hired to entertain the audience, keep the energy up, and then crack a few jokes. In a sense, it's like light stand-up. I don't even know if you could call it stand-up. That might be, a slight against stand-up for me saying that this was light stand-up, but regardless, it felt like it because I had to write a few jokes. That being said, I'm gonna head back to the hotel, tell you the rest about it there, and just a little bit about the nerves and the anxiety that goes into it, because this particular job is different than anything else that I've done, although it's still in the heart of performance and improv and public speaking, but I'll tell you more at the hotel. Okay, so about tonight's event, there are several things on my end that I could have done better, and I want to talk about that real quick. So we're talking about stress, anxiety, and kind of resistance when you have a gig that's something like public speaking. And for me, as I said at the beginning of this video, was hired by a client to speak in front of 500 to 900 people, and then also hired to write some jokes in the script of that. The joke part was what terrified me. Now, I got no problem getting up in front of a bunch of people and giving a very neutral script. It doesn't have to be funny. It doesn't have to go for any human reaction. I've never done stand-up comedy in my life. I've just never done it. I have inserted it into certain music shows that I've done, and also, public speaking gigs where I host forums. I just throw it in there because it's fun to do that. And it's also a way to kind of get away with it because it's not a stand-up gig, and yet you're making it funny, so it works. And sometimes it doesn't work, and you just need to cut that out and just get to what you were hired to do. Anyways, all that being said, they asked me to send in a draft. Now, this is a gig that is a very specific lane. It's for a corporation. It's not just, hey, come and say free-for-all. It's not about politics. It's not about society. It's about a specific lane that they're hiring and paying you to do. So you have to stick to that lane to honor that contract. You're just honoring the contract. Now, if it's a gig where you're hired to host a forum or moderate a certain subject matter, then you have some things that are more accessible to you that you can talk about, because we're in the real world. If I'm going to talk about the color gray, I might as well talk about the other colors opposing to it, or where you find it, or how you feel about it. You can talk anything about it that you want to, if that's the subject is. However, the subject is not within my control. The subject is within the client's control. So number one, You do what the client says at a corporate event. It's, again, not about politics or anything else. Number two, it's not personal. It's truly not personal. And what I could have done differently is not take certain things personally. They asked me to kind of rewrite the script a little bit and insert some comedy. One, which I was like, if you're hiring me to do this and you have a script, why didn't you have... It's a part of me, I don't know why I thought that. I thought they would have had the comedy in there already, but they had a list of things to not say. And they said, give us a first draft of things that you'd like to put into it. I said, okay. I wrote it out, gave it to them. Everything got rejected. Every single joke got rejected. I immediately took that personally, and that was my ego. That was my id. That was just basically me being just pouty about it. And that's normal up to a certain extent. You can feel that way off the bat. Everybody has the right to feel the way they want to feel. It's how long you let it dwell with you. And I could have let it dwell a little less. I definitely held on to it for longer than it should have been there. And I reached out to a friend. I reached out to two friends. One that is a stand-up comedian, and another that is just a very, very, very funny person in my life. One of my best friends, actually. And they immediately had brilliant ideas to stay within the lane. And my mind just opened up the second that I started talking to them. So 2, do not take it personally. And 3, utilize your resources. Talk to other people, because they probably have an idea that you've never thought of. And these 2 people had not only ideas I've never thought of, but like universe loads of like ideas and comedy and different ways to approach it that I was just like, oh my goodness, I get it now. I was going at it from the wrong angle. So that helped out a ton to talk to other people. 4th and last, make no presumptions about the environment. You never know what the environment's going to be like. You don't know what the energy is going to be like. You don't know what the people are going to be like. You don't know anything about the environment. If you asked me, hey Toussaint, what is France like? And if I've never been to France, well, I just can't tell you what France is like. There's no way. I would have to say, well, you'll have to see how it feels when you get there. And that would just be it. So for this, once I got here, it was definitely an energy I didn't expect. It was a preparation I didn't expect. My goodness, that'll be the 5th and final one. But everything was taken care of. And once I got there, I was like worried about memorizing the script. And they had like a little TV screen prompter right in front of me with the script that I wrote on it. And all of a sudden, me reflecting on everything that I took personally earlier, I now felt bad about, because the team, the people that hired me, take it seriously. And they wanted to make sure that the script was there and that I was going to stick to it, because the client wants that. And I went a little bit in and out of the script to, appeal to the actual night and what things were going on. And that worked very well, and they were okay with that. But it's still a tight lane. You still got to stick to the lane. And for me, that just helped so much, and I never expected that. So I would research as much as possible about the environment that you're going to step in to do live performance, to do forum, to do hosting, to do comedy before you get there. And I'm sure a lot of stand-up comedians can tell you that no club is the same, no audience is the same, as well as no club is the same. And so make assumptions, because that's natural, but don't be married to it, because it's going to change. The whole thing is going to change. Lastly, I think this is cliche to say, but I think you got to do it, is trust the process and trust the people. Trust the people that brought you to the event. And if they asked you to be out to the event, they asked you for a reason, because they think you're talented, they want you to work for them. But trust that they asked you for a reason, that they know that you can uphold your end of the bargain, and you know that they can uphold their end of the bargain. Like, trust that. And that's tough sometimes, especially with some of us having a past where people have hurt us, or scenarios have betrayed us, and we feel that kind of bubbling up to the surface, when really this is a new day. This is a different version of you. These are different people you're working with. They're not the people that may have caused you harm in the past. It's a different audience. It may not be the audience that was like, what is that person talking about? And it also may be an entirely different situation than you built up in your head. So the people I worked with in sound, lighting, and producing, oh my goodness. I mean, they had the I's dotted, the T's crossed, the jackets buttoned, the cardigans, static free. It was amazing. I mean, they were a badass crew. That's a badass crew. And it was amazing to work with them. So I really, really was humbled by that. So those are 5 things that I think, you should possibly be aware of going into a situation like I did. And I have 4 more shows with this company. So I'm definitely going to be learning from these past 2 shows that I did here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Also, one note about Charlotte, North Carolina, as I said in the beginning, the downtown is called Uptown. And if you're looking to go to Uptown, you should go to the neighborhood called Noda or Midtown Plaza. And yeah, don't tell them that I sent you because they don't know who I am. But either way, that's what I have to say about that. And lastly, the anxiety and the stress is going to be perfectly normal. Like, that's just going to happen. You just got to ride that through. And ride that through is kind of a bad way of putting it. You're going to have to become friends with it. Bill Hader has a great video on this, and I'll put his link to his video on anxiety in the bottom. But you got to be friends with that thing. You got to be friends with that little guy, because anxiety is going to come around. They're going to be like, oh, hey, you got an event going on? Can I be here? Can I play? And it's going to be like, man, every time you come around, bro. And it's got to be, I definitely was like, oh, anxiety's here. What's up, girl? Like, that's how I was. And I was like, yeah, get on in. Yeah, it's all good. We'll kick it. I'm going to, put my headphones on. So that's another thing that I dealt with as well. But hope you found this of some use. Love y'all. Be sure to go to the Patreon, patreon.com/ToussaintMorrison. And yeah, subscribe for more updates coming around the way. Peace.